Let's talk about the National Parks Passport book and why you need one. But first, this would be a great time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and make sure you click the like button to help me out with those YouTube algorithms. And you won't want to miss any of the videos because I have travel videos during the week. We have a great live stream, live chat on Saturday nights. And on Sundays, I'm uploading little shorts, videos of just relaxing videos set to music of places that I've been. So you're going to want to catch all those, so make sure you subscribe. Now, this bodacious passport book is also known as your passport to your national parks. Gloria asked me if I would talk about this a little bit more, so here we go. Now, the National Park Passport book gives you a record every time you go to a national park. Just walk up to the counter or go over to the bookstore. They'll have the rubber stamps, and you just go ahead and stamp it with that stamp, and it'll tell you the name of the park, the date that you've been there. And sometimes they have other stylized stamps, which I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. Inside the National Park Passport book, usually in this front flap that is empty, there's usually a paper that's a map, and it's got a list of all the national parks. I have unfortunately misplaced mine, but in that listing you've got to remember that the national parks change periodically. In fact, as recently as January 2021, there is a new national park added, and that is in West Virginia, New River Gorge, and it's said to be spectacular. Also, back a few months ago, the White Sands National Monument became White Sands National Park. So the list is going to change periodically, and the only way that you can get the most recent map and list is to buy another one. Which is what I'm going to have to, another book, which is what I'm going to have to do since I misplaced mine. But anyway, this book is also a handy reference because it's got information about national parks itself, breaks it down into geographical locations, so you know immediately if you are going to go to the southeast, for example. Just turn to the edge of the book and flip over until you get to the pink section, and there you will find that southeast. So also in each section, I'm just going to go ahead and flip over to the southeast. You'll see also that I have a lot of stamps or cancellations in my book, and part of the reason I want to show you this is because on this channel we're always about the hashtag be bodacious. Now that means you're not going to let life get in the way of living, and I'm hoping that by showing you this book as I explain it to Gloria, that you'll be inspired to travel and take the next step, working within your limitations, so you can just go out there and have fun and enjoy life no matter what. So looking at your limitations, I'm hoping this will show you that you don't have to live in a box, okay? So this purple section of the southeast region, I'm going to pick on that because I know I've got a lot of stamps, tells you the states. It's got information on the national parks and that you see. So like for example, it'll say Kentucky, and then it'll have the numbers for each location. So you can just flip to that in the national parks book, read about it, and then start collecting your stamps. Now these are free. It doesn't cost anything to have your book stamped. And if you don't have your national parks book, don't worry, you can use your own. And they also have you covered. So in another way. So like when I went to Alaska last time, I couldn't find my book. Had no idea where it was, but I didn't want to miss out getting stamps. So they had these little sheets of paper, and they could stamp those, and I just stapled them into my book later. So it gives you a great record, and it's also good for solving arguments, like let's say the one that my husband and I had about Gates of the Arctic National Park. And I said, we went to that visitor center, and he said no, but we did. And I was able to pull out my national parks book, flip to it, and say, there you go, bud, read them and weep. That would be our stamp from the Gates of the Arctic National Park. Now, sometimes if you're in a situation where you can't actually physically get to the national park, you can go to the visitor center closest to it. In this case, we're, I guess, around, I'm going to guess 100 miles away, but that's a guess. And the only way you can get there is to fly in, but you can kind of see it in the distance. So, the closest place to it that you can get to is where they had the stamp. Now, the stamps, as I said, tell you the name of the park and when you've been there, but they have these stylized stamps sometimes also, which highlight something that may be going on in the area or something that runs within the park. For example, the National Iditarod Historic Trail has a stamp that we were actually able to get, and that's because the historic trail ran through one of the national parks that we visited, so I was able to collect that one as well. And then this is just one for the Portage Valley and Chugach National Forest. So in addition to having the regular stamps, they also have these that you can get. Now, thanks to the health stuff that's going on in the world, what they have started doing, where usually you walk in and you look for either the bookstore or the main information kiosk, and they have the rubber stamps right out there, and you can just stamp them yourself. Some locations have stopped doing that. So what they have started doing is they have these little round stickers, and they will stamp the sticker and hand it to you to put in your book. Same way, easy way to get a stamp. Now, I love my National Park book because it gives me a record, but I also have purchased this as gifts for like couples getting married or kids. It's just a fun thing to do. So, Lori, I hope that answers your questions about the National Park book. If anybody has any other questions, of course, drop that in the comment section down below. I will get to you, and thank you so much for watching. Now, don't forget again to give me a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe, and always go out and live the most bodacious, fun life that you can live. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.